Trials of Osiris is back. Of the couple days that Trials has been out, my team and I have spent a lot of time playing it. And I have come away with a few strategies that I, myself, have used, as well as some of the things that my team and I have discussed to help us succeed. I wanted to share all of those with you today. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Man of Cole, and let's talk about how you can go flawless in Trials of Osiris. I want to plug really quick that over on my Twitch channel, I will be helping as many people as I can to go 7-0 and get that sweet, sweet Trials armor from the Flawless chest at the Lighthouse. Just click the link to my Twitch channel in the description and follow my channel so you know when I go live. Also be sure to subscribe here for more Trials guides as the season progresses. Now, let's start with one of the most important things you need to do in order to succeed in Trials. This first week of Trials is going to be the only week in which our seasonal artifact will be light level enabled, meaning that any weekend after this one, the highest light level that anyone can be is 1010 light. So while your light level may look jacked up right now, remember that in the future, you will not have any extra light level bump from your artifact in Trials. This leads to the first tip, which is get to the highest light level you can before going into Trials for the weekend. I know it's tempting to just take the dive into the emotional crockpot that is Trials, but I'm telling you, you will have a far better experience the higher light level that you are. That means doing your activities during the week that reward powerful engrams, turning in your prime engrams as soon as you receive them, visiting the +0 vendors of the week wherever they are, it changes at the weekly reset, and lastly, doing your pinnacle activities and turning in exotic engrams from the season pass. As tempting as it is to decrypt an exotic, you will get a far better return if you keep it in your season pass until you reach the hard cap of 1000 light. Again, you're going to have a far better time in Trials if you're a higher light. Can you still go flawless if you're 980? Yeah, absolutely. But why put yourself through the torture of doing half damage to opponents who are 20 light levels higher than you? I promise, it'll be worth it. On to tip number 2, which is finding 1 or 2 loadouts and sticking with them. I know this one from personal experience, and it is very tempting to switch loadouts depending on what your opponents are running or what the map is. A while ago, I started realizing that the more I was switching around my primaries and secondaries based off of what my opponents were running, the worse I found myself performing. It wasn't until I quite literally said to myself, okay, I'm not switching any weapons for this entire game. And as soon as I did that, my playstyle completely changed. You aren't going to be able to control what your opponents use for their loadouts, you can't control what they use for their subclass, and you can't control how they play. What you can control is your playstyle and how you play. Stick to a short range loadout like a hand cannon and shotgun, and a longer range loadout like a sniper or a pulse rifle. Use what works for you. You will see an improvement. Tip number 3 is especially important in Trials, and that is to have at least 1 Shutdown Super on your team. I highly suggest having 2 Shutdown Supers if possible. Shutdown Supers include Tether, Blade Barrage, Nova Bomb, Thunder Crash, and even Fist of Havoc. The reason it is so important to have at least 1 Shutdown Super on your team is because in Trials, it is way more important to stay alive than it is to get kills. Let's think about this for a second. Most roaming supers or slaying supers are meant to have a longer duration to allow for as many kills as possible. In Trials, it is only 3v3, with no respawns unless you are revived by your teammates. If you pop one of your roaming supers and you attempt to just fly in all gung-ho on the enemy team, all it takes is 1 nicely placed tether or 1 obnoxious thunder crash to shut you down, and immediately put your team at a disadvantage. That's why I highly suggest 2 instead of 1. Don't get me wrong, it is super nice to have a good Dawn Blade or a slippery Spectral Blade to clutch a 1v3 in the late rounds. That's also why it's important to know your team dynamic, what your strengths are, and execute them. Trials isn't about slaying, it's about staying alive. The last tip to help you go flawless has less to do with your actual gameplay and more with your mindset, and that is to be able to adapt and adjust very quickly. You have about 4 to 5 seconds between each round in Trials. That means if your team quickly goes down 0-2, you've got those 4 to 5 seconds to make adjustments or make callouts before you start the next round again. Use those precious moments and be productive with them. Stop complaining about how you died or that you were behind cover yet they still managed to jump snipe montage you. Remain positive, remain constructive, and be open-minded. If you keep going into the same sniper lane for 2 rounds in a row and they keep hitting their shots on you, make an adjustment and find a different angle. If something isn't working, don't keep doing it and expect a different outcome. Be flexible, make constructive suggestions, and you will absolutely notice how much more satisfied you are. How have your Trials runs been? Have you gotten to the Lighthouse yet? Let me know down in the comments. Remember to follow me over on Twitch, where I will be doing Trials Help every weekend at twitch.tv/manofcoal. Links to that will be down below. Thank you very much for watching. A positive rating is always appreciated, and as always, we'll see ya.